Housewives of Atlanta, season 17, episode 4. Where's the beef and the budget? All right, so we open this episode with Pinky, and she is at her slutty vegan restaurant preparing for a give back event, charity event. She has her own foundation. It's called the Pinky Cole Foundation, where she gives back to the community, and every year has like a little give back day. So just preparing for that. Kelly is over there to talk to her and help her out a little bit, catch up on everything. Um, you know, they both in the restaurant business, so just connecting on their journeys and how things are going, the ups and downs and everything. Pinky telling her how she's considering filing for bankruptcy. As we kind of, fast forward, we know that she actually did. And Kelly was actually considering it herself because, having to divorce her ex took a lot of money, plus the things that I believe they both accumulated in the marriage, or at least that she accumulated in the marriage. With that divorce, that's what he was fighting her for. Yeah, lots of debts on her end. So she, what I'm saying, it's a big decision on both of their parts if they should do it or if they should not. Pinky does let her know that she ain't tell her husband about it yet, which Kelly says, yeah, like, it's not really a good idea, which is not, we understand why she not doing it, but I guess regardless, he gonna feel, a little bit about, type of way about it, so. I mean, not to say, well, we don't know how he gonna handle it. I guess once we get there to the reveal, but yeah, we always know it's just not gonna be what the happy talk, so to speak, right? Um, and with the fundraiser thing, she got all the ladies involved to where she actually sent them out a list of items specifically to where, for them to donate. I don't remember everything. I ain't write it down, but I think it was like Shamia with the diapers, Kelly with some hair care kits, and I think she assigned it Phaedra to the baby wipes and some baby formula, of course, vegan style. Because what she say? She talk a lot of shit. I don't know. Either way, supposed to be a little shade in there, right? But speaking of Phaedra, Pinky ain't don't really like her going around telling people that she eat meat because she's her whole brand is vegan. Okay, so we know what that means: no meat, no dairy, no animal products at all, type stuff, right? Telling people that she eats meat is a bit compromising. It's not really a good look, and it's the what with yeah, just not good for business. And for Kelly, as we rewinding some tapes, she was saying that she saw her eating some steak. So hey, I don't know. She's sticking to it. She don't eat nothing, no meat, except for the husband, if we consider that some type of man. But I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe she have to address the Phaedra about that, and just to see at least because Phaedra be joking a lot, technically, laughing all the time. It's always funny, right? So we just got to make sure she just being jokey about it, or just really that, yeah, I really did see her eat some chicken. So we find out that Cynthia actually has a tequila line going on, and she inviting all the girls to Houston for, I guess, the launch, or presenting, of it, whatever. So that's kind of cool because remember she does have that peach Bellini thing, I believe, with Seagrams. But Shami is at home with Gerald and just letting him know that she about to go to Houston, woo woo woo, and trying to invite him out, and he don't want to go. It's not his thing. Being around a group of ladies is no dude really wants to be around a group of ladies by himself. Like, it's not enough. It's not like it used to be. It's not enough husbands no more. There's no husbands group to where he can just go be in and they do their own thing. But no, we'll see. But she'll be hopeful. Maybe he'll change his mind because there is a few husbands here. He just gotta get to know Charles and Kate Michelle husband, and who else got a husband? I think that's it. But anywho, with her, they wanted to have this last baby, which is a boy. They got the embryo on froze or whatever. Um, but they was doing the surrogate thing, and we all remember with the last one, it didn't necessarily turn out the best way. And I believe they lost a few of the embryos, and I believe this, she just said it's just one boy left. So this is it's a dilemma now because we can go through and find a new surrogate to implant and see if he grow and everything. Hope for the best, because if it don't work, we got to go back and get new eggs and do the like do that whole thing all over again. So I don't know, Shamia. It's something that they got to think about. So the next scene, we see Portia with her friend Mike. They put friend under his little name title, but um, nothing much really here. Is just her the house that she bought after she divorced Cordell. That was her independence and all that stuff. Remember that? And then I believe she moved her mama in there when she moved in with Simon, but she kept the house. She never sold it. Now she considering letting it go because done build up some money, and she'll make a little bit of coin off of it. So why not? So bittersweet moment, obviously, because the house meant a lot to her, but that money, maybe that money be in your ears. So you be like, all right, let me go make this little million real quick. But either way, she still got the house right now anyway, with from Simon. So regardless, she's not like she homeless or nothing. She just be making a little coin, right? Anywho, with Mike, they just dating technically, or not dating, whatever, friendly. Portia don't want no more kids. Let's just she got Pilar. She been married twice now. So look, they got Dennis. Yeah, with this dude, I think he don't got no kids at all, is what I'm guessing. And so, yeah, at some point, that's just gonna be something that he's gonna need, and she's not gonna be able to provide that for him. So it's kind of like at some point, this ain't gonna be no forever thing. He pretty much gets it. She just letting him know, now, like, we cool and all, but yeah, we ain't gonna get too much further in this journey because the box is closed. And the next scene is just Portia, Phaedra, and Angela, and they're just doing one of them cycle bike machine workout courses, try to stay fit or whatever, even though all they do is get surgery technically. But we can fake it till we make it. Um, they end up talking about, they all going to Houston and everything, and Phaedra tells or Portia tells Phaedra about the slutty vegan comment, how you said that Pinky be eating meat. And I don't know what the heck they was talking about, but who had a rib restaurant? Was it Pinky said that Phaedra had a ribs restaurant back in the day or something like that? Or either way, or they saw Pinky eating some ribs. I don't know. But either way, of course, Phaedra's like, well, I ain't say no stuff like that. Like, and of course, like I said, she's always, it's no big deal to her because regardless, let Pinky have it because she ain't got nothing to do with it, right? Um, but at some point, they'll all address it, and talk about it. Um, I guess there was nothing else in this scene. Yeah, they were just catching up, kicking it, really, and talking about Pinky. Angela and her projects. Look, as Charles would say, remember the fans that she said that she wanted to, try to sell. That's what she want to start now. I think it's gonna be called Fangie, the little handheld fans. Make them all sparkly and cute or whatever, and just meeting up with her team and just setting up everything, trying to get the money and budget together. And these people, yeah, she let them know about that dang house that she done bought, and they all looking at her like, for real, because they already know, like, yeah, you're not good at this realtor thing, so we don't know why you keep trying and trying and trying again. especially at the same time that we're trying to do these fans because, we need some money, so so instead of pulling more money out of her ass, she gonna, reach into Charles. So he there in the meeting, and of course he gonna support and whatever she gonna do because it's her stuff. Technically, I mean, he might lose a couple bucks in it, but technically it's all on her, right? So, and that's his girl, that's his wife. Gotta do what you gotta do. And then the next scene is just Phaedra and Portia. They getting ready for the slutty vegan event. Well, actually, it was really Pinky Cole over there. She's setting it all up and getting ready, waiting on all the girls to show up. I think K Michelle was one of the first to show up. And while they're all there, it was like Phaedra and Portia is over here at, I think, Phaedra house, just having a little snacky snack because, when we get there, it's most likely going to be all that vegan type food. So we might as well eat our meats, eat now, get full. So whatever, whatever, whatever. We get to see Aiden, y'all big now. Teenager now, yeah. Teenager. Is that the one I was driving on that last episode? Remember she got two sons. I'd be forgetting. Apollo, or was that Apollo driving? Either way, Portia just joking with him about taking a dang nap and, the parenting skills and parenting tips and all that stuff. And, obviously being a black mom, all them jokes. And, like how we basically had to do a whole bunch of stuff after school. We're not taking no naps. If you was gonna go to bed, you was gonna go to bed for the end of the rest of the night. You had to clean up, do your homework, and all that type of stuff. But these kids these days. But continuing, they talk about Pinky that they did when they was over on the cycle bikes, talking about oh, we about to go to the same place with with that restaurant she got the bankruptcy at. Yep, see. So Phaedra already armed and ready because she already know that the whole thing of talking about her eating meat and all this stuff is going to come up. Either she's gonna say it or somebody else gonna bring it up. So she prepared. Okay, so it's the event. All the ladies are arriving and set to do their assignments, giving away all the things. It was cute. It was a lot of people came and everybody was good enough until they get together, right? Because a few things had to be addressed, which it wasn't necessarily in that way, which is kind of we just in the group talking, right? So it just kind of just came up, which would be the whole thing about Phaedra saying the thing about Pinky eating the meat, right? Because that's really the main thing in this whole thing, right? Um, Oh well, besides that, Kelly was showed up for a quick second, but she was a little sick, so she just showed up to drop her things off and to leave. But before she left, Portia had came in with Phaedra, and they just kind of walked right past each other. Didn't really say no highs or nothing, and a few people peeped it, but it's like they ain't ready to speak right now. So, but yeah, other than that, this whole thing between Phaedra and Pinky, it was like, why I didn't say it. Phaedra said she told Shamia that, so basically she's saying that Shamia said it. And Shamia like, no, I didn't say it. Well, she's saying, well, I told you that she used to own a rib restaurant. That's what they had said in that last scene when she was on the phone. And I guess Shamia interpret that as, oh, well, she eats ribs or she eat meat. And I guess that's where the confusion has come into. So they having a whole back and forth because Phaedra definitely feels some type of way. How Shamia be, like, well, I don't care, whatever. I never said I don't like you. And actually, I do like you, but you the one that's trying to start stuff with me. But because Phaedra brings up, oh, and then you speak, I ain't like the way that you speaking about my kids. And I'm like, what? And they're like, what? Because somewhere, I don't even know what it was, maybe on the internet somewhere, was it Watch What Happens Live? I don't even know what it was. But, they asked her a question about who would you rather be like the godmom to your kids, and there was a picture of Phaedra or Cynthia. And Shamia, see, you can't backpedal here, look, because the way you answered it by saying, "Oh well, the way that Noel's life turned out, like I mean, I'd rather have Cynthia be my, guy mind my kids, because I know that they'll turn out just great." Why you had to say it like that? So Phaedra took it as, yeah, you trying to say that I'm a bad mom and I'm raising some bad kids or something like, and we know them kids, them boys ain't bad or nothing at all, but like. So of course Shmi is like, no, no, I wasn't trying to say that, but yeah, it was just it's maybe you just didn't don't remember the way you felt in the moment, because maybe in the moment the way you was feeling was being shady because you had a problem or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's just if you rewatch it, like I said, it sounded just a little bit like a dig, but not really a big dig. But it is what it is. She backed out of it. Um, and Pinky shut it down because we forgot. This is a whole little fundraiser event. We can't be arguing here. Y'all ain't got to take it outside or wait till we get to Houston. And of course, Cynthia like, nah, don't be taking it to my stuff. Y'all better get this stuff out the way before y'all come to mine trying to mess up my events. So they did this conversation for now, okay? Because we can continue another day or when we get outside. And Pinky goes ahead to, make her speech about thanking everybody for coming and woo to woo to woo to woo. Have a good day, that little thing. And Pinky says she used to work for Maury. Interesting. Interesting. But being a producer, and we know what producers on them shows doing, making them people run around screaming, talking about this my baby daddy and stuff. That's the day job was. And how they get Maury to come on here to make a little cameo. Okay, that was actually cute because I actually like Maury. Everybody, if you watch the Maury Povich show, how can you not like Maury? He ain't did nothing wrong, at least that we know of. So that was kind of cute. And he did a whole does Pinky Cole eat meat type of thing. The lie detector, the test determined no, she's still vegan. That whole thing. But that was cute. Hey, Maury. Oh man, the next scene was with Portia at her house with her sister and the kids running around, and Dennis pop up. I guess they planning on doing some type of online social media, something with Pilar, like a Pilar's show or something like that. I don't know, but they're in like a event planner or organizer person came to try to help set it up. So they go around the house, but before they get to the room to show where the setup's all gonna be, that bouquet of flowers from Mike was still sitting on the counter, and the card was still in it, right? So she tried to pick up the card and toss it or whatever, like, oh, I don't need these problems, because Dennis, always got something to say or whatever, right? Which obviously he's seen it, so when they go around to the room, he actually go to the flowers and pick up the card, and it said, "I want you," or whatever, right? This food, I mean, honestly, they're not together, right? You're not together. So I don't even know why he feeling some type of way about it. Lauren trying to snatch the card all away from him. They completely forget about the meeting that they're supposed to be having with the old dude. Because now they arguing about what Portia got going on and who she talking with and who she dating. Because basically Dennis doesn't approve. Okay, I guess maybe just for him, he might just be thinking like most of us is thinking is, slow down a little bit, take a little bit of break. You just got a divorce, you might not even be dating all these people. I don't know, whatever. Not to say that she is dating a whole bunch of people, but I guess in his eyes, how they would think or he would think. So yeah, they're going through this whole back and forth because he trying to give his so-called advice, like don't be sneaking around whatever buildings and stuff. Like he must be seeing her out with people, and she like he don't be seeing me out with nobody because obviously he don't live in said building no more, and he got a girlfriend. So I'm like that make it even more crazier. Then it's like why you even over here arguing with me about some stuff like this? Like for real, for real. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was the alcohol because I'm looking at him. I just kept looking at him like, dang, he is a lot of gray now. Because remember, he wasn't gray like this. Got some golds in his mouth. And it looked like, I'm saying, maybe he was sipping a little bit. Maybe he had a little buzz going on. Maybe that's what kicked in. But Not a good look for the camera dude. Not at all. Look, especially being from Detroit. Like, come on, for real. So we end the episode with Pinky and her husband. They taking a little walk and getting a little exercise. Having a good little solo moment. And she takes this time to just open up about the bankruptcy. Okay, she just lets him know that she met with the lawyer and she filed. So of course he a little bit shocked, right? Um, he did ask her who else did she tell about this, and she did not mention that. Oh, well, I did tell the girls. She just so of course that raises a little bit of concern for him because it's like, well, dang, now it's gonna be all in the blogs and the news and all this stuff. Like, ugh. But and why didn't you come to me and why you asked me for help and stuff like that. And of course, she's crying emotional at this moment because she's doing this for her to protect her and her business. She don't want to involve him in his business. I believe what she about 5 million in a hole, something like that. Yeah, which is a lot. So if she brings him along, it will have to take away from what his business, and she doesn't want to affect that because that's going to bring him down. And of course, we both can't be down. You know what I'm saying? We both be in the poorhouse. So she just gonna try to figure it out as best she can. But of course, he telling her, obviously I'm your husband, so we a team. We're gonna do this together. So it is, we'll get through this. It is what it is. I got your back. So let's say we all knew this wasn't gonna be the best conversation, uncomfortable to have, especially on camera. But it just had to be done. So it is what it is. We'll get to the next episode next time. Yeah. Season starting off on a steady ride. I mean, I don't know. Housewives isn't like, well, at least Atlanta isn't as explosive as it used to be. So I guess this is just to be expected, especially while we're getting to know the new ladies here. So it is what it is. Decent episode. Like I said, we'll get to the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.